just want to share a very simple thought with you today from Proverbs 11, verse 24 and 25 in our text in Proverbs today. Give freely and become more wealthy. Be stingy and lose everything. The generous will prosper. Those who refresh others will themselves be refreshed. Now, beloved, one of the things you have to learn in life is generosity. Now, I believe that when a person gets born again, God changes their heart, and there is generosity. And sometimes you go through some things, and you hear some things, and you watch some things, and that's affected your generosity, and you need to get it back. When people start trying to teach you not to give and not to be generous, it's going to hurt your future. It's not going to hurt anybody else's future. It's going to hurt your future. When you give freely, you become more wealthy. When you are stingy, you lose everything. That's cause and effect prosperity and cause and effect poverty. The generous will prosper, not might, will prosper. The generous will prosper, and those who refresh others will themselves be refreshed. I had a man look at me many years ago, and he looked at me and said, "Pastor Sumrall, you're too prosperous." I said, "You have not yet begun to see me prosper." And it startled him. And I said, because I have determined in my life to be generous. I've determined in my life, whether I have little or much, I will always be generous. And because I'm generous, God blesses me. And beloved, cause and effect poverty. If you're stingy, you lose everything. If you're generous, you become more wealthy. Let's always have a generous heart in Jesus' name. Do you remember life before lockdown? Do you remember life before COVID? Do you remember all the things that we were in the middle of doing? Well, we're starting to get all of those started back up little by little. Next year, we'll be starting into the provincial crusades again. Our Go groups are reopening again. And we're starting back on the Remain Project. Just before lockdowns hit, we announced that we were staying right here on Taft Avenue. This is our ancestral home. We're very happy here, but we need to do some work because, there's new roofs that need to go on buildings. We got to come in and renovate the interior. We need some more office space and kids' church space. So we presented to you the Remain program, and we actually had the bidding already done for the foundations. And during lockdowns, we put in 23 or 24 million pesos worth of piles out on Taft Avenue for Bay 7 Tower. All that's done, all that's paid for. Now, in that same time, many of you were faithful to your pledges, and even it was the middle of lockdown, we never mentioned it to you. We never talked about money at all during this lockdown season, but many of you were still faithful, and we've kept all that money's set aside. All that money's been set aside as designated money, and we're ready to start on Tower 7. Now, this weekend, I shared with you last weekend that we're going to do the pledges to get things finished. We're going to be renovating the main auditorium. We're going to be putting up Tower 7. We're going to be renovating the kids' tower. We're going to be putting another floor on top of Serenity. We've got a lot of things to do here on Taft Avenue, as well as we're going to build a 5-story educational tower and offices and a parsonage down at South Campus, and we're going to renovate South Campus Auditorium, put in a balcony, and really dress up the inside and outside and make it beautiful. So we've got a lot of things to work on. I shared with you last weekend, we're going to be doing the pledges, and I'm asking you this weekend, as a family, come ready to say, this is what we want to do to help. We want to build the house of God. We want to renovate the house of God. So as a family, you talk about it. What are we going to do as a family for the next few years on a weekly or on a monthly basis? And I ask you, bring a great offering this weekend. God has been good to us all during this lockdown season. Sit down with your family and talk about what seed does our family want to sow as we start back up this project. We'll see you this weekend.